information. But if we expand that idea of teaching and learning beyond what happens by a person in a building between hours of time and how it happens everywhere in the world, right? At homes, in libraries, and schools, what we realize is that we really don't have a lot of understanding about how teaching and learning is being enacted by, for example, librarians, by museum curators, by parents. And so I think to fill that gap from a research perspective requires universities to partner with libraries, local organizations, museums, to get a sense of how teaching and learning are happening in places besides school. Not to say that school isn't important, it is to say that all these other places maybe are just as important. We may not realize why until we actually do that research.
Fantastic.
Well, I'll talk from a personal perspective. I love libraries. I mean, libraries and museums are such rich and dynamic and important spaces as cornerstones to our social institutions. And so just like schools, a lot occurs in library spaces in terms of informal education. It's in libraries that I find a lot of young women, including myself, that we can be who we want to be and then discover different facets of ourselves. So, on the personal front, I wanted to work in such dynamic spaces such as libraries. So it made sense to expand the Competent Girls experience to libraries.
As leaders in our community, we talk about this idea of giving voice to people, right? Or in this particular case, you might think of the idea of like giving voice to young adults or teenagers, right, as they move into adulthood. But what this person argued, and the more I think about it, I think the more it resonates with me, is that even beyond who we say and who we recognize, the reality is that everybody already does have a voice, right? And the question is, how well are we really giving focus to that, right? How well are we really listening to that, and how well are we really allowing that to impact our practice? And so I think a big part of providing the opportunities that you talk about is really sort of fine-tuning the way that we listen to our young adults, right? And we really tune into their voice and the things they have to say. And I think the second part of that is also rethinking about our programs as not things that we design for and do to our teens, right? But things that we design with, right? And enact with our teens and our young adults.
College Connect.
Yeah. Well, I think the Teen Center and the library here is just a natural fit because this is a safe and welcoming space for young people. And so having College Connect embedded here in the Teen Center is just a natural complementary partnership. So when teens are here and they're checking things out, learning more about library services, here's College Connect, which maybe they've never heard about us, but being here, it's a little bit more inviting for them to even walk in for an appointment. Well, I think College Connect, I also think, is a natural partner with the library because you're all about providing information to patrons, whether they're young people or families. So we're just that continuum of services for families. So it's been great. We appreciate your support. Sometimes challenging to form our own identity because we are located here in the library. People assume that it's a library program, so sometimes they're asking staff at the information desk really detailed questions, and then as well as folks knowing where we are in the library. So something that we've done is really worked on additional signage and helping to spread the information about the program to library staff so they have that basic foundation about what we do so they can appropriately refer youth and families. Well, I think you guys are some of our biggest cheerleaders. You promote our program so well with the young people that you work with. You help us in designing our workshops and our program services. And I've heard so often library staff telling young people, well, go visit College Connect, that's what they're there for. So having your support is really critical. And then just being great partners in the space. I know sometimes we might not know the best way to reach young people, but since you all are experts here in this area, it's been great to have you invite us as part of your ongoing activities so that our College Connect reps can participate and get to know